Hey guys, Beth Murphy here. So I've been thinking about anger because it's fun for me to think about emotions and all this stuff. And then I like to observe myself, and I figure you're doing the same thing, so we might as well talk about it. And then I was going to kind of freelance it, but I had to stop. Well, I had to stop the recording, and I didn't like the way it came out. You know what? That reminds me is very funny. I think that I edit everything I do. And I think you guys do too, because when you comment, it's often edited. And I'm only laughing because I swear I don't think I ever leave something put. I'm always going back and even my jokes. I like to craft jokes on my Facebook all the time. I'll keep going back as I keep crafting the joke if I think I can make it funnier. And I think other people probably think that's weird or quirky, but that's definitely me. So it's probably you too. But so anyway, back to the other stuff. So anger, I find it really fascinating. I find my own anger fascinating. I find my husband, Mr. Censor Thinky, his anger is fascinating. And then I compare the two angers, because I love knowing what drives me, and then I talk to you guys and compare notes and build my data bank for my counseling, and it's great. I love it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But anyway, anger. I want to talk about it because I don't want us to be afraid of it. I don't want us to be ashamed of it. And I figure if I tell you how it is for me, how it really truly is for me, how my life is, even though I'm a counselor, I'm not going to tell you I walk around, sniffing flowers all day. I have a hair trigger temper, but it's not really, I don't just go around popping off on people. In my maturity, I have learned about myself, and that has helped me make the unconscious conscious and see the signs. And then, with maturity, and I mean spiritual maturity too. So you can be this at any age. But with the wisdom that comes from self-reflection, I just know better now. So I'll walk away, or I'll take deep breaths. Sometimes I'll even run away. I will literally run out of the room if I think I'm going to go off on somebody, because I need a little time and distance. So I want to talk about anger. And I just Googled a quick article because I like that structure of talking to you. It helps me not get the deer in the headlights thing. And I just go with my gut and my intuition. I kind of let that lead me to the right article, and it always works. So I found one called the dark side of the INFJ personality. And I love sticking up for us, and I love cheerleading us, so I can't wait to see what they're going to say about us. I don't like to read ahead of time because I want to be fresh in the moment when I talk, so it's like a real conversation. So I really look forward to that. I glanced at the headlines, so I think the first one was stubbornness, and I basically started laughing because I think I'm going to agree with the whole article probably. But as you can see, I'm pretty lighthearted about all this kind of stuff. So I think that it'll come out good. And I want to do a good job with it. So I'm going to have to take my time. And we'll do one question at a time. Probably last 10 minutes each like usual. But yeah, as far as the anger thing, a recent example. Now my husband is very sweet. And he's an ISTJ. Okay, so we have some things in common, which is helpful. But the end, my intuition and my feeling, in contrast to his censoring and thinking, has probably been the source of 90% of our fights in 25 years. Because we don't have kids to argue about, although money comes up and we'll argue about that. I think that's probably equivalent to kid arguing for other couples. But it's always because we're not on the same page. We're not wired the same. That's why I hang out with you guys, because you make me feel understood, and I just crave that and love that, same as you. So sometimes things will come up in his life, and I will kind of counsel him like I do for my work, although I don't get paid. But I get paid in appreciation, so that's something. But anyway, it's like I'm talking to him exactly like I would talk, to my clients. And he gets frustrated and angry, and he kind of gets himself really, really caught up in knots. But his motivation for being angry is far different from mine. And that's why I think the INFJ stuff is interesting, and I think I do understand what kind of drives us, because I'll look at these other types and they're not getting angry about the stuff I'm getting angry about. Okay. Their stuff is more kind of in their own little universe. I get angry about gigantic principles of purpose and stuff like that. And they're just angry like, well, I expected this behavior from this person and they let me down. It's kind of singular like that. So when I study other types, it's interesting, and I can help other types as well. But it's due to my INFJ-ness that I can help regular types or sensor thinkers like my husband. But the source of his anger is different than the source of my anger. Probably you could say the same. My source of anger is always like, I temporarily forget that everyone is not thinking in the way that I am thinking. And my thinking is always, it comes very natural to me because of the feeling part and the intuition, all wrapped up in the empathy that we naturally have. When you're connected to others with that intuition, you just naturally feel empathy, because you don't feel the division of each single unit, each single person, each single consciousness. It's more blended. And this is my metaphysical parts talking to you now. So I kind of have a deeper understanding of even that, about what the intuition really is. So when I feel angry, I can identify it as I'm making an assumption. Oh, you ought to know that that's going to affect me, because I would know that it would, if I did it, it would affect you in this way. So it always kind of comes down to the same thing. And it's because I am readily, I have the ability to put myself in another person's shoes, in an instant. So that's why, and that combined with the speed of my thoughts, it's like a storm, because I'm noticing everything all the time, good and bad, things that make me happy and things that don't make me happy. I'm noticing so many more things. It creates many more opportunities for me to be angry. It also creates many more opportunities for me to be happy. Because if my husband brings me flowers, I will smell them throughout the day. I will trim them. I will freshen their water. I can obsess over things that bring me pleasure and joy because I'm detail oriented like that. And I can notice things that make me happy all day more than the average person in my experience. But I'm also noticing everything else. So all I would try to impart to you is be aware that you're going to notice more than the average person, because it's just the way you're wired. And you have to just learn to be more selective about where you put your attention, where you put your time, where you put your consciousness, and where you put your focus is every moment of your day is who you really are. So depending on where you put it, okay, you're the director of your experience. So you have to deliberately put your attention on things that make you feel good when you are this type that notices everything. It just becomes more crucial, you can imagine, right? So that's going to be my underlying message when we do this next series. And again, the title is The Dark Side of the INFJ Personality. So we'll see what they have to say about us. I'm going to be rooting for you no matter what. All right. Okay. So I'll do that when I can. It'll have to come out of me authentically, so I don't know how long it'll take me. But that's what you have to look forward to. We're going to have a little series about anger. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Love talking to you. Take care. Bye.